am so excited to be here. My name is Jana Gattung. First and foremost, I am a mother and a grandmother. I am a mother to 3 adult, successful young men who I love with all my heart, and I am the grandmother to a 14-year-old grandson who is the apple of my eye. Yeah, I live for him. Anyway, I am also a nationally credentialed and state licensed acupuncturist for the last 25 years. And I am now a health, wellness, and life coach online as well. So today I am going to be talking about proximity is power, but only with accountability, perseverance, and action. So Tony Robbins always says that proximity is power. What does that really mean? Well, unless you have 150K to drop on one of the big names like him for like platinum partners, you know what does that do for us? We need to find our family, unless we have this money to drop on these big names, and then we don't even really get them. We get their coaches. We see them walk through the room, they give their presentations, but we get their high-paid, high-powered coaches, but we don't really get their stuff. Tony Robbins says, life happens for you, not to you. I want to tell you guys right now, I am a walking, talking poster child of that. Some people would say my life has been difficult. Other people would often say tragic. I feel like I have had a blessed life because I have been able to take all the experiences I've ever had and help other people in whatever capacity I have to serve. And that's just me, and I am blessed, like I said. So anyway, I'm going to regress. 30 years ago, my husband at the time walked out on me and my 3 very small children. This led to me finding my purpose. At the time, I thought wife and mother, and that was it. But even though I've owned my own businesses since I was 19, but they weren't my purpose. But through God-given, it was just like almost a lightning bolt. And it's a very special story. It's a magical story. If anybody ever wants to hear it, please reach out to me. I will be glad to share it with you, but time constraints don't allow it here. But anyway, and it led me to become a healer and an acupuncturist. So I went to school, I went to a local college to get my undergraduate work done and with my children and everything, because I live in a very, very remote, small Idaho town. And so the closest college that I could even go to for a pre-med program was almost 4 hours away. But I knew that I was going to have to search for a university who specialized in acupuncture. And it was going to be in a city. And I was taking my children with me. And so I said, God, I need you. I need you to help me find a place. I need you to help me find where I can go, where the boys will be safe, where I will get the best education that I can. And if you help us all come through unscathed emotionally and physically and keep me going and vertical, because I have severe spinal issues and autoimmune problems, I said, I will serve your children as long as you keep me vertical. As long as you keep me able, I will serve your children. And a peace came over me, and I knew that it was all going to be okay. Well, I ended up in Seattle. I went to grad school. Everything was great. I came back to small town Idaho and opened up a very successful clinic, which ended up being a day spa later. I'm back down to the clinic because I'm a little older. But anyway, it was just great. Sometimes I was booked 4 weeks in advance, and I was running 3 treatment rooms. So then COVID hit and I was shut down like everybody else. And I hadn't realized how much my autoimmune issues and my structural issues had started to affect me. But when you're not out doing your thing, constantly, you have more time to sit and think about it. Well, it got worse and it got worse. And I went to the doctors and they couldn't do anything. And I went to some functional medicine doctors and they ran every test possible and nothing was helping. And even when they opened the thing back up to where I could have gone back to work, I actually was too ill to go back to work. And I could literally feel my body dying. It was horrible. And I think about it now, and it really, tears me up, because I said, God, are you done? Are you done with me? Have I served my purpose, and you don't need me anymore? If I haven't, you need to send me a sign. And don't laugh at this, guys, but later that evening, I was scrolling through Facebook on my phone because I was getting ready for bed and I couldn't do much else. And an ad for UPW popped up on my phone. And I had been a Tony fan for years. I mean, before I went to grad school, I got Personal Power on the audio tapes as a gift, and I devoured them over and over and over again. So anyway, I saw this and I thought, oh, I'm not working, and $400 or $500 is a lot to drop on an event. I had never been to an event like that in my life, and I thought, I'm going to do it anyway. It's online. I can just lay here in bed and listen. So the first morning I got up and tried to sign on. Never been on a Zoom, never done anything like that. And I accidentally took a screenshot of myself. And I use it in my programs today because it shows you how sick and how miserable and how inflamed I was back then. And it's hard to look at. It is hard for me to look at. But hey, I'm here now. But anyway, so I went to the event and I couldn't interact much. It was all I could do to get through the 4 days. But at the end of the 4 days, there was a spark. It was like, I'm back. I need to work really hard to get better so that I can get back to my purpose, because God is supporting me and I need to get back to my purpose. And I did. And I started to get a lot better. And then I went to another UPW in July. The first one was in March of 2022. And there I could interact in the chat and I did all the things, and it was just so fantastic. And I met a lot of people there, a lot of friends, and we stayed in contact. And then, I kept going on. I still couldn't work much, maybe a couple patients here or there. But then I went to Time to Thrive last year, Launchpad this year. And there I met the same person who was handing out notes and being this fantastic person. And we got to be really good friends. And he said, Jana, I am going to do a course for people. Would you like to join it? And I said, absolutely. And that's where the magic happened. I met 8 like-minded individuals who were driven. They had different dots, they served different communities, but we all had no idea what we were doing as far as tech and everything else. But we became this really close-knit family, and we shared and we learned and we pushed each other forward. And then, as you've heard, our brother John, who was part of that group, introduced me and a few others to Group 18, which the full name of this group is the Team 18 Accountability Group. They give accountability. And so as you know, part of the APA, the first part is accountability. The people in this group are not just people to me anymore. They are my family. They are the ones who move me forward. Tony Robbins says, we are a culmination of the 10 people that we have the most contact with, either virtually or in the real world, as far as 5% up or down in income, health, wellness, the whole meal deal. So choose your family wisely. And I'm not telling you to go out and get a divorce or leave your kids behind or do whatever, but pick your virtual family or the family that is helping you get to your dot very carefully, because those are the people who are going to propel you forward. So moving on to perseverance. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich tells a story about a man who had a mine. And he mined it, and was going broke. He wasn't getting anywhere. So he sold it, and this man went into insurance. And the new owner, literally like a foot away from where the last miner ended up, hit the mother lode and just got rich beyond compare. The previous owner goes, I'm not going to be mad about this. This is a really good lesson. Um, it's good that he did this, but I have learned not to give up. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I am not going to give up. So that brings up a thing. There is no such thing as failure. If you put on an event or a masterclass or a challenge, anything, if you put up a post and you get no likes, if people do not interact with your stuff, that is not a fail. It is a learning experience. You get to go back and go, I wonder why people didn't interact. Was it that I hit the wrong crowd? Did I put it up at the wrong time of day or the wrong time of year? What happened? And you learn from that. But here again, your accountability people pick you up because they're there to help support you. They celebrate your wins and they help support you in your losses. So then we move on to action. You need to take action every day, constantly. Now, what if one day you wake up and you're sick? There's ways to get around that. You should be posting or doing whatever you do to attract the people to you that you need to serve. They need your information. But if you wake up sick, if you take one day a week and batch create your info, batch create your videos, batch create your post ads, your regular post ads for Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, whatever you use. So that when you do wake up that one day that you're sick, you can go, I have a whole library that I can pick from, that I can post today, and nobody knows that you made that thing 2 weeks ago. It's all just there for you to draw from. So take the action and never be afraid. Never be afraid. You can always invite your best friends into your stuff so that when you videotape it, you can talk to them. And the other people will come too, but you can talk to your friends and your family. Getting back to a funny little story. And it's not that it's run perfectly, but the little old lady a couple years ago, me, who couldn't get on Zoom, well, that was only about a year and a half ago, I'm running part of today's tech. That in itself is a miracle. Because I'm the least techie person out there. But hey, just stick with it. I have my own clinical practice still, but I also do courses and I do consults, private consults via Zoom. Reach out to me. I'm not hard to find on Facebook, and I would be happy to chat with you at any point in time. Thank you all.